In 2008, a janitor named Ronald Read quietly died in Vermont. Most people in his town barely noticed him while he was alive. He drove an old Toyota, wore the same clothes for years, worked at a gas station, and later as a janitor. Nothing about his life looked extraordinary, but when he died, something shocking was discovered. Ronald Read had $8 million in investments. No business empire, no six-figure salary, no lottery win, just patience, discipline, and time. Meanwhile, we've seen celebrities and athletes earn hundreds of millions and end up broke. So, what explains the difference? The answer isn't intelligence, it's behavior. And that is the central idea behind the book, The Psychology of Money, by Morgan Housel. Today, we'll break down 5 powerful lessons from the book that completely change how you think about wealth. Lesson 1. You're not fully in control. We like to believe success is simple. Work hard, make smart decisions, and wealth will follow. But reality is messier. Luck and risk play a bigger role than we want to admit. Take Bill Gates. When he was in high school, Gates attended one of the only schools in America that had access to a computer in the 1960s. That gave him thousands of hours of programming experience before most people ever touched a computer. Was Gates brilliant? Of course. Did he work incredibly hard? Absolutely. But would his story have been the same if he grew up somewhere without that opportunity? Probably not. And the opposite happens too. Many people fail not because they are stupid, but because risk hit them at the wrong time. This lesson teaches humility. When people succeed, they often assume it was purely their skill. But the truth is always a mix of skill, timing, and luck. The best strategy isn't trying to control luck. It's putting yourself in positions where luck can find you. Lesson 2. Getting rich versus staying rich. Getting rich and staying rich require completely different skills. Getting rich often requires risk. Starting a company, investing in opportunities, taking bold chances. Think of entrepreneurs like Jeff Bezos. Leaving a stable Wall Street job to sell books online was incredibly risky. But those risks create wealth. Staying rich, however, requires the opposite mindset. It requires caution, patience, and survival. Many people make fortunes, only to lose them. Athletes sign massive contracts and go bankrupt. Lottery winners lose everything within a decade. Why? Because they keep playing the same risky game that made them wealthy in the first place. But once you have wealth, the goal changes. The goal becomes not losing it. Warren Buffett once said the first rule of investing is simple. Never lose money. The second rule? Never forget the first rule. Staying wealthy is about avoiding the mistakes that can destroy you. Lesson 3. Wealth is what you don't see. When people imagine wealth, they picture luxury, sports cars, designer clothes, huge mansions. But those things don't necessarily represent wealth. Often, they represent spending. Real wealth is invisible. It is the money you haven't spent yet. It is the investments quietly growing in the background. It is the financial freedom that no one else can see. That's why Ronald Read, the janitor we mentioned earlier, became a millionaire. He simply bought stocks regularly and held them for decades. No one noticed, because real wealth rarely looks impressive. And that creates a dangerous trap. Many people spend money trying to look wealthy, instead of actually becoming wealthy. But looking rich and being rich are two completely different games. One focuses on appearance. The other focuses on freedom. Lesson 4. The power of compounding. One of the most powerful forces in finance is compounding. Compounding means that money earns returns, and those returns begin earning returns of their own. Over time, this effect becomes extraordinary. Take Warren Buffett again. Buffett is one of the richest people in history. But here's the surprising part. More than 90% of his wealth came after age 50. Why? Because Buffett started investing very early and allowed compounding to work for decades. The secret wasn't just intelligence. It was time. Compounding rewards, patience. And patience is something many investors struggle with. People chase quick wins. They try to time the market. They jump between investments. But wealth rarely grows that way. Instead, it grows slowly, quietly, and then suddenly. Lesson 5. Money buys freedom. The biggest misconception about money is that it buys luxury. But luxury isn't the most valuable thing money provides. Freedom is. Money gives you control over your time. It gives you the ability to walk away from things that make you unhappy. A bad job, a toxic boss, a stressful environment. People without savings often feel trapped. They must tolerate situations they dislike because they have no financial cushion. But even a modest amount of savings creates something powerful. Options. Morgan Housel explains that the highest form of wealth is the ability to wake up every morning and say, "I can do what I want today." That freedom is far more valuable than expensive possessions. Final thought. The biggest lesson from the psychology of money is simple. Money is not about spreadsheets. It's about behavior, patience, humility, discipline, and understanding that small decisions repeated over long periods of time create extraordinary outcomes. You don't need a genius strategy to build wealth. You simply need a strategy you can stick with. If you enjoyed this breakdown of the psychology of money, you'll love the book itself. It's one of the most insightful books ever written about wealth and human behavior. And if you want more videos explaining powerful investing ideas, timeless financial principles, and the mindset behind real wealth, subscribe to TMAStreet because understanding money is the first step toward mastering it.